Like, even as just some guy, if I'm sitting downstairs and I was able to afford a place that had 2 stories, and I was like, all right, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to go to bed. And on my way up the stairs, I'm like, bro, my knee. Like, I'm going up a flight of stairs and my knee. Like, I'd be pretty pissed. So I can't imagine. And I feel like it transcends even being a Bulls fan. I feel like it transcends even being, in the Ball hive, right? Like, even if you weren't watching Ball in the Family every single week that it came out like 5 years ago, which I was one of those people, like, it sucks. Like, you could have been the biggest De'Aaron Fox Kentucky guy in the world. Remember that in March Madness? And this still has to suck because this always happens, man. Every year somebody has that weird injury that just lingers for longer than it needs to. Somebody probably told him, "Oh, well, if you play on it, it can't get any worse than it already is." They always say that, and it always ends up being not true. The injury always somehow gets worse. Again, I don't know if that's actually what happened with Lonzo, if anybody actually told him that. I'm using Blake as an example. That happened to Blake Griffin. They were like, it's pretty bad already. You might as well just, it's not going to get any worse. And then, somehow it got worse. So it just sucks. It sucks. Yes, you have Alex Caruso. I love it. It's fine. I'm still not a huge Alex Caruso guy, but I get why everybody else is. And you have Kobe White, and that's a hive that I'm still in. But if you're a Bulls fan, I don't really know what your deal is. You're going to be in one of 2 camps. You're either going to be like, Kobe White stinks, get him off my basketball team, trade him for Killian Hayes. I don't know, which I actually don't want to do that trade. I'm vetoing that. I don't want to do Kobe White for Killian. Thank you for the offer, though. I respect that. But even coming out of the draft, when he was coming out of North Carolina, I was like, Kobe White is my guy. And my confidence hasn't wavered, but that's because I don't watch him every single night. Right, and Bulls fans do. And what Bulls fans see, apparently, is a guy who is, too big for his britches in the starting role, but is or rather, how does that phrase work? He's, not good enough to be a starter, but he's way too good to be a role player. So Bulls fans were like, make him the 6th, okay? And then, but then they're also and I must have something wrong here. I don't watch all your games, Bulls fans, so the timeline's a little messy. But it's so because he has a guy like Zach LaVine in front of him, because the guard that's in front of him is so demonstrably better, it dilutes what Kobe White could actually be as a scorer. And I think it was a month ago on the Bulls subreddit, they were like, well, we should trade him to Phoenix because their guard play wasn't great. This outside of, Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Okay, but if the logic is that he's being suppressed by Zach LaVine, which I don't even think is true, hasn't he gotten more efficient every single year that he's been in the league if you go by true shooting? Why would you then give him to a team that has a better shooting guard? Why would you go, well, he can't play behind Zach LaVine, let's give him to Devin Booker? Do you get what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm just going to move on because every time I get into this Kobe White thing, there's always people make good points. And there's just something that I don't get because I always love him. He's awesome. You know who's not awesome? Always. He's awesome sometimes, but not as much as did we get duped by Vucevic? Is that what happened? Did we all just do the thing when he was in Orlando where we were like, oh, and Vucevic made an all-star team. That's cool. But he might as well have. Maybe he did. I don't know. I wasn't watching. What was he doing? But every single time the Vucevic played your team, he punked you every single time when he was with Orlando. And then he gets traded to the Bulls, and he spent maybe a little generous here, a third of the season, 33% of the season, getting punked by dudes who are 20 years old and half his size. I say that as a guy I watched Sadiq do it. I watched Isaiah do it. Pretty sure I saw R.J. Barrett do it at some point. And that's the craziest thing. Well, okay, I can't get mad that, a guard is, dicing him up. Because, that happens to bigs, right? Rudy Gobert, the best defender of all time. Remember what Steph did to him when Steph was doing all that stuff and Rudy was, literally, 360 YYing ladder stall wall banging off of high rise? Remember that? Steph hit him with the Hezi Jimbo, and Rudy Gobert was out here oh my God, what is his name? Who's it? Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry from Arizona. I have no idea if he's going to play. I don't know, where we're at with him, if we can expect, is he going to, are they going to throw him out? Give him, 10 minutes, every third game or something. Just kind of, get his feet wet a little bit and see how he does. I don't know, because At Arizona, he wasn't he Pac-12 all defense last year? I think he was. But like, what did he do? Like, what is his deal? Because I'm pretty sure if you just Google like Dalen Terry highlights at Arizona, one of the like mixtapes that'll come up is that it's like Dalen Showtime Terry or something like that. And you watch it, and it's like, yeah, he's just like throwing some like, some little into the front court. Or he'll be like 5 feet away from someone. It's like a super easy read, but he just does like he'll do like an elbow pass. Like he doesn't have to. He just does it because they're playing, Arizona Tech, South Central, Western. You know what I mean? And he can. And I'm not hating on him because I actually think the dude has like legit ability. And he's also like 190 pounds. And he's like 6'9". And the Bulls are like, what was the Chicago Tribune came out with an article and they're like, yeah, they're feeding him like peanut butter and crackers after every single. They're just loading this dude up, and I love it because he is a really nice guy. He is a really cool dude. But I don't know, what's that experience going to be? That's really the point of this. Not the point of this video. I just meant of that thing. Another thing about the Lonzo thing. This just came to me. Where I'm going to throw this take out there. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they miss. We'll see where this one goes. Does it kind of feel a little bit like Denver at the beginning of last year? Just in the principle of a team with a guy in the MVP conversation for a majority of the season, right? With MVP aspirations in DeMar DeRozan / Nikola Jokic, not putting them in the same tier, just the principle that they're MVP guys. You have that, and what would the Bulls version of Aaron Gordon be? I don't know, probably Patrick Williams. If you want to do, like, is there Michael Porter Jr., Zach LaVine? I mean, obviously, Zach LaVine's better. You know what I mean? And they're just, like, it's a team that we're like, if they have their guys, maybe. And it's easier to say it about the Nuggets because they have Jokic. Again, don't take this at face value. Okay, just the principle of what I'm saying. This team that we feel like might be loaded a little bit in a conference that we're kind of like, there's some ambiguity. There's a little bit. It's not chalk the way that it's been the way that it's been in previous years. Maybe there's a path, and then bam, point guard, bah! Both knee injuries too, right? That's what Jamal Murray's was. Didn't he smoke his knee? I don't understand. Kinesiologists, do you watch these videos? How do you just, like, make cartilage? Like, Kemba's knee has been bone on bone for, like, 3... Wait, do people know that? I think people know that at this point. It's been bone on bone for, like, 3 years. But doctors were, like... They just, like, gave him a shot, and it was, like, a chia pet, and it just, like, grows in your knee, and then you just, like, have cartilage again? I don't... Do that to Lonzo? I don't know. Another thing about Dalen Terry... I say everything I said... about, like, is he going to play? But I also was the guy who was like, Ayo Dosunmu, I don't know. I was a Big Ten guy, right? So I watched him in college. I was like, I think he's going to be fine. I was like, I think he'll be an NBA player for a little bit, right? No, he's going to be an NBA player for a while. A while, not just a little bit. A while. So for all we know, Dalen Terry is going to be friggin' nuts. Remember Chandler Hutchison? Oh my God. Trip down memory lane. Wow. Have I done a win prediction for the Chicago Bulls yet? I haven't. Okay, I'm going to go 45 wins. Book it.